Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are going to be covering the first reviews or reactions, I should say, coming out from people that have gotten the chance to see whether that's an early screener, the premiere, but people that have got to see George Miller's Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. If you guys don't know, I mean, I've been really excited for this film. We have reactions to the trailers up on the channel right now.
Oh my god, it looks so good.
I have goosebumps everywhere. I've already gotten my tickets for IMAX opening week, and yeah, I just cannot wait. And if you like this type of content, you know, movies, pop culture, superhero, all this jazz, go ahead and do us a favor and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and click that bell, all three for free, and it helps out the channel a ton. But yeah, like I said, guys, Furiosa just had their premiere, and a lot of people have gotten a chance to see it. So let's go ahead and without further ado, cover some early reactions. The first one we have comes from Eric Davis saying, George Miller's Furiosa is powerhouse action filmmaking at its absolute best. A ferocious and relentlessly paced epic that expands the story of Furiosa and the wasteland while delivering the craziest chases, the most bombastic characters, and just plain stunning cinematography. Anya Taylor-Joy and Chris Hemsworth equally dive all the way into the wasteland and both deliver some incredible stuff. There's one war rig sequence that blew my mind, an instant classic. I love the Mad Max movies, and I loved this film. Start your engines. Love hearing that. Very thorough in that first review that we just read, talking about the cinematography and, you know, how bombastic the world, the characters, everything, the action is. And I mean, that's just in true Mad Max fashion and form, and I cannot wait. But the next one we have comes from Nick's Flicks Fix. That is a tongue twister, but they say Furiosa is epic in every sense of the word. The world building and lore expansion of the Mad Max universe is front and center to a bombastic film that has some explosive, exciting action. Taylor-Joy is great, but Hemsworth truly shines in a way he hasn't before. Now, that is one reaction that I'm really excited to hear because I cannot wait to see what Chris Hemsworth brings to this movie. If you guys see our trailer reactions, I mean, we were really stunned by Chris Hemsworth. Not only the fact that he looks really different with the makeup that he has on in this film, but just what he's doing. He has a lot more energy, more kinetic presence that I guess I wasn't really expecting, but I cannot wait to see what he brings. The next one we have comes from John Nguyen saying Furiosa is 2.5 hours of colorful mayhem. Anya Taylor-Joy and Elijah Brownie both get their fair share of screen time as the title character. Chris Hemsworth is like a villainous Thor with his red cape and long hair. It's one of the most brutal Mad Max films yet. Cannot wait to hear that because as a lover of Fury Road, that movie is pretty brutal, and I was constantly wondering if this movie would be R-rated, and I believe it is. So hopefully, you know, it gets that brutality and gruesomeness that we come to expect from this franchise. But the next one we have comes from Peter Gray saying, now that I can say so, Furiosa is a blast. Made in the spirit of Fury Road, it's still its own beast that thrives on exaggerated action and characters. Anya Taylor-Joy makes the character her own, but this is Chris Hemsworth's chance to prove his worth as a character actor. Another reaction praising Chris Hemsworth's performance in this film, and I cannot wait to see what he does. But another one that we have comes from Bill Bria saying, ladies and gentlemen, Furiosa is myth making at its finest. The most sprawling Mad Max saga entry returns to the series roots. It's a powerful, moving, gritty tale of revenge in the middle of a world gone wild. Also, windsurfing bombers. Anya Taylor-Joy owns. Chris Hemsworth kills. Love to hear it. The next one we have comes from Simon Thompson saying, Jesus, George Miller, Furiosa engulfs you. At times, it almost seems to exceed the canvas of the IMAX format. It is that big, and yet at times has a deeply affecting intimacy, echoing cinematic elements from the 50s through the 80s. It's a rich, smart vision the cast revels in. Wow, I love to hear that, especially since I'm seeing it in IMAX. I mean, I couldn't be more excited. Another one we have comes from Doug Jameson saying, there's a lot to admire about Furiosa. It's gorgeously shot and the action sequences are mind-blowing. Anya Taylor-Joy is sensational and Chris Hemsworth chews every piece of scenery in sight. But the narrative lags considerably and the CGI is often ghastly, a mixed bag for me. That is one of the first, I believe the first mixed reaction we have read so far. And it's interesting that their points of contention are the visual effects and just the narrative not being kind of paced well with the story. So that's interesting, but still relatively positive. So if that's the first kind of teetering negative review that we have read, I mean, that's a good sign, honestly. But the next one we have comes from Law saying, Furiosa is insane. It felt good being back in the wasteland and it feels familiar but so different from Fury Road, which I think is a good thing. It's filled with stellar performances, eye-popping action, and technical expertise. I don't know how Miller does it. Sean O'Connell says, set expectations. Furiosa is not Fury Road. It's wildly different, more focus and emphasis on story, world building, and connecting of threads to Fury Road without trying to replicate that rush. When the action arrives, it delivers. Miller, as usual, paints with his own brush. Now, I think that's very important to clarify because I do think a misconception, or rather what some people might be expecting going into this movie, is Mad Max Fury Road 2.0, like a 2-hour chase sequence, when the trailers have clearly marketed that this is Furiosa's story. This is gonna have more of a narrative and character-based journey than Fury Road, and I for one cannot wait for that addition into this franchise. Just, you know, maybe some people might not really be expecting the right things and should kind of set their expectations reasonably. But anyways, the next one we have comes from Sophia Soto saying, I've watched Furiosa and the first thing I want to say is how impressive I was with Alila Brown, who was remarkable. As expected, Anya Taylor-Joy is pure perfection, and I'm always thrilled to see Chris Hemsworth show his terrific range as an actor, especially as a villain. Great to hear. We're going to do a couple more here. The next one coming from WandaVision, love that name, saying, even though I am very much aware that Mad Max Fury Road is a masterpiece, it is still jaw-dropping to witness what George Miller does with Furiosa. Truly epic and brilliant. Last one we have comes from Jermaine Lucier saying, as good as I expected Furiosa to be, I think it might be better. Pure cinema bliss that's wonderful on its own and makes Fury Road better as well. The action is so beyond. I was literally laughing with delight. Details so weird and beautiful, I can't believe they exist. Just moi. I mean, what can I say? These sound fantastic and I cannot wait to watch the film. Here's some reaction from Hideo Kojima. Love that guy. I mean, if you guys know who he is, that's great. If you don't, creator of the Metal Gear Solid series and just overall really active on social media, and it's always hilarious to see his presence. And yeah, this is what he said about Furiosa with translation, of course. But yeah, once again, it seems overwhelmingly positive and I'm so excited to watch this film. But you guys tell me in the comments below, how excited are you for Furiosa? Will you be there opening night? Will you not? Are you a fan of the Mad Max franchise? Do you love Fury Road? Do you love the previous movies? Like anything. I love discussing with you guys down there in the comments below. And yeah, it sounds widely positive, so you guys will definitely be expecting a review or covering this film in some sort of way on the channel, so be on the lookout for that. And if you've made it this far and you haven't, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and click that bell. That way you are notified every time we upload. But other than that, it's been your boy 𝙋𝙧𝙚𝙀, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next one.